All right, so we have a couple people on. So I am super excited to have Michelle with us, who has been a recruiter for over 20 years. And so she knows everything there is to know about headshots and what you need to attract the people you are trying to attract. So without further ado, I'm going to make myself tiny and I'm going to hand over to Michelle. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. It is evening, isn't it? The days seem to roll into one. My name is Michelle Fumer, and I run a recruitment company called Onyx Recruitment, based in Milton Keynes. I recruit UK-wide, and as Wani said, I've been in recruitment. It's about 23 years now this year, so I can't even begin to guess how many headshots that I've seen on CVs, LinkedIn profiles, and Facebook, company websites, etc. Due to time, I'm focusing today mainly on LinkedIn, as I'm coming at this headshot challenge from the perspective of a recruiter. So I'm thinking about professional presentation. And LinkedIn specifically is a portal for professionals. It's an online business network. So that makes it really different from purely social sites such as Facebook or Instagram. Your LinkedIn profile is your initial digital identity. So that tiny square image is your first impression. And that first impression might determine whether or not you are chosen by either employers, employees, if you're looking to recruit, or customers to your business, and whether they are going to engage with you. So in normal circumstances, I would always say go to a photographer like Wani, who can support you with posing, makeup, hair, with the help of the specialists, like the ladies that we've heard from this week. And your LinkedIn profile headshot is really the first representation of you. So it needs to encourage engagement. As a recruiter, if I go to LinkedIn and someone doesn't have a headshot, I'm immediately put off. It's considered, I guess it's kind of considered a bit lazy, like someone hasn't taken the time to fill in their profile correctly, and it's a field that's there for a reason. And it could really smack of a bit of a lack of attention to detail. So I think it's very important to have that there. Visual identity is so important if you're trying to engage with people in this way. It's really important to look professional, to look hardworking, and above all, to look approachable. So striking that balance between a social site and a professional networking and recruitment platform can be quite difficult. So I'm going to try and give you some top tips to achieve your ideal LinkedIn profile picture, to ensure that you actually are guaranteed to attract attention, but in all the right ways. So the first tip I would give is to look approachable. Of course, your picture should be professional, not super casual like a Facebook picture. But professional doesn't have to mean serious. If you can look genuine and not too super serious and intense. I see a lot of profiles where people are suited and booted and they're looking, straight at the camera, looking really, really serious about what they do, and it makes them look a bit angry and a bit intense, and they're not necessarily that approachable. So I might get a CV where the blurb about the person is a great marketing tool, and they talk about how lovely and communicative they are, and then you look at their photo and you're like, oh, no, don't look that communicative. The second tip I would say is pick an up-to-date photo, and at this point it's a good opportunity. Yes, we haven't got the luxury of being able to use a photographer at this point, but that doesn't mean that you can't update your profile picture. I think now more than ever people are online, they're looking at LinkedIn, and we don't want to see a picture that was perhaps taken decades ago, and then meet that person when we come out of lockdown and to find that they look completely different. I'm sure some people have been through that in the dating world, but it's exactly the same in the recruitment world. So make sure your photo was taken in the past few years. I'd say probably 3 maximum. I hope Wani will entirely agree with what I'm about to say, but make sure it is a headshot. Your face should occupy, I think, about 60% of the space. If you choose a picture that's taken far away and you're sitting on a mountaintop staring out into the distance, it's lovely, but you're not showing any professional potential. And I guess my next point is all about how do you show that potential and what's the right expression. I personally think a smile. A smiling person in real life is more likely to attract someone's attention than a cold looking person, and the same goes for a photo. So You know, a recruiter like me will be far more easily seduced by someone radiating warmth, a happy aura, than a very stern-looking, serious person. I think it's important to appear warm and friendly, and it's about smiling with your eyes. You don't have to look like a Cheshire cat. And some people, I appreciate, they don't like their teeth, they don't like to smile, they hate having their photograph taken. But I think if you can think of something that makes you happy, that gives you like a warm, fuzzy feeling inside, you don't have to show us all your ashes, but you can smile a little bit with your mouth and smile with your eyes and give that feeling of being genuine and authenticity. And I think that's really important. I'm hoping Jane will back me up after her presentation earlier in the week, but let's move on to attire. It's very important. You know, you should wear your usual attire. Whether you are the managing director of a big company or an employee in a startup or a one-woman dynamo, as I know lots of you are, you should wear clothes that you wear in your workplace. I think personally, people tend to assume you should wear a smart suit jacket if you're a business person, but I don't tend to in my corporate photos, as I think it looks more natural if I look like me. I'm very likely to wear a jacket to a meeting, and immediately that I go in, ask if they mind if I remove my jacket, because I prefer to be comfortable. And the same is said when you have a photograph taken. So if you think of what you wear to work and what it reflects in terms of your business and its values, there's a fine line. I think Jane said this earlier in the week, things that can go wrong. So your favourite top might be a beautiful orange top with big purple flowers on it, but it probably wouldn't be appreciated on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's image is very small. Quick horror story, I had a lovely gentleman register with me, and he emailed me to say I've updated my LinkedIn profile, and I went to have a look at it. I was really interested, really nice guy, and he decided to post a picture of himself wearing a skin-coloured t-shirt, sat at his desk. So the picture was taken waist up in very bad light, and I had to ring him and tell him that he essentially looked topless. So he should really think about changing it quickly. I mean, he was very grateful, but it was a bit of an embarrassing conversation. So, you know, if you're going to use a photo, look at it and make sure you really look at it, not just at your face, but at the whole shot. Depending on which sector you work in, you might favour a black and white headshot. I personally have one as I recruit in the professional services arena, specifically accountants and HR, and it helps my image to stand out a little bit, looks a little bit different. I know Wani used my image in you know, talking about this particular Facebook Live, and I think it's, you know, I've got quite a natural pose, and I'm not too formally dressed, but hopefully it's just striking that balance, because I want people to get a feeling for me and want to work with me. So I would say when you're getting dressed to do your shot, take in these facts into account, and you know, take a few photos of yourself. I mean, I go to my worst critic. I go to my mum and say, here's a photo, what do you think? Do I look too formal? Do I look like I'm going to a funeral? Which, you know, is a danger in recruitment. Or, you know, do I look like me? And obviously the standard rules, like not too much cleavage, not too much bare skin, etc., as neat and tidy as you can. Here is where I go into Wani's territory, so hopefully I'm not saying anything too wrong, but I believe you should take the photos straight on. As I said earlier, a photo of you staring into the distance doesn't give the viewer a chance to make that connection with you. The camera should be at eye level, not too high, not too low of an angle. I personally can't abide a smartphone in the air with someone's arms stretched out in the photo. I have seen it on LinkedIn. You know, I don't appreciate the duck lips. I know none of you ladies would do this, but, you know, doing all of this in a LinkedIn photo doesn't look good. We save all of that for Facebook and Instagram, and no peace signs or anything like that. I mean, you would be horrified if you saw some of the photos that I do see. You know, I think your LinkedIn profile is an integral part of your professional branding. So it's really important that you like the photo. However, I'm going to come in with some don'ts. I don't like to start with the negatives, but some don'ts. Don't use filters. I don't think when you're taking your own selfie effectively, that they can detract from your picture if you are trying to make yourself look all beautiful and fuzzy around the edges and no lines. It's really hard to get a true depiction of what that person looks like. You know, there is one filter which my 7-year-old taught me, that you can use a portrait shot on an iPhone, and the background is fuzzy and you're really clear, and it's a lovely effect actually for a profile picture. Don't crop a group picture. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody's ear just there next to yours, or someone's shoulder. You know, it's like a wedding picture. You cut out the relative you don't talk to anymore. It's not professional, and I think it shows a bit of a lack of commitment. And the best professional version of yourself is what you want to be showing at all times on LinkedIn. Don't have a distracting background. You know, if you've managed to perfect your genuine, approachable face, then don't let it go to waste with a garish backdrop. Keep the background really simple. I think mine, we literally painted a board because we had to do it really quickly in my house at the time. We stuck a cream board behind me. So, you know, a soft charcoal grey or an Oxford blue or a cream plain backdrop, I think is quite important. And this is a funny one, but don't incorporate your hobbies into your photo. It's great that you're a runner, or you play tennis, or you do taekwondo, but there is a section on LinkedIn for your hobbies and interests, and that is where it goes. We don't want to see a picture of anybody in boxing gloves or anything like that. It gives the wrong impression, I think. So, you know, don't use your profile photo to show your diverse side. That can come later when somebody's approached you. So to finish up, I would say that investing in your profile photo is your chance to kind of increase your profile viewings and your response rates. You know, that little square determines the people who see your profile, whether they buy into you, whether they engage with you, and it can really help you build your personal brand and stand out from the crowd. So hopefully that helps, and love to know if anyone's got any questions at all.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Michelle. I was cracking up through you're hilarious.
Were you thinking I disagree with that, Michelle?
No. Mostly, like, I think I agree with everything you said.
Oh, thank goodness.
But it was just the way you phrased everything. And I loved, you know, you were even getting into my territory. You were telling them, like, smile with the eyes, you know, exactly.
I think Tyra Banks said smiles, didn't she? And next top model.
I knew I liked you. I love Tyra Banks. That is awesome. No, exactly. It's all about the smiles, and it's the thing we teach as well. You literally don't need to see all teeth, but definitely smiling with the eyes. Okay, perfect. And I think the recurrent theme has been be authentic to your brand, be authentic to yourself, be genuine. And I like that you said, make sure you like the pictures, make sure it looks like you. So I think if we take away anything from this week, it's just kind of think about that when you're creating your portraits. So I just want to say hi to the ladies. I love that we're having regular viewers now. I feel like a talk show host. I'm like, welcome to today's talk. So hi, Natasha. Hi, Anna. Hi, Ndidi. Hi, Auntie Oja. And welcome to our new viewer, Kathy. Welcome. Oh, hi, Joe. Joe's a regular as well. Yeah. So in terms of pictures, and in terms of what people should do, I like the fact that you said it should be a headshot, because I think, again, people underestimate that it is a small square, and it does take that 3 seconds for people to kind of like grab people's attention. And so you definitely want to stand out. So using the colors will help you stand out, but also making sure that you are getting in. I always think a headshot's kind of like, I mean, you need a little bit of neck, right? But like, kind of like almost to the breastbone is where you'd want to stop.
Gives you that perspective, doesn't it?
Exactly.
You're not all face.
Exactly. And also just thinking about the tips, like, I mean, the things we'll talk about tomorrow as well, just having the clear background as well. And I like that you were handy and just like painted a board to make it happen, you know, so we're not distracting from the face. Do you have any thoughts as to, because you have, for corporate, I feel like it's more obvious what people would wear, what they would look like. If you were an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, a lot of people wear blazers. But are there different things you look at when it's someone's more creative? Like we had Amy, Amy was here yesterday. She's a yoga teacher and an osteopath. We have people that are acupuncturists, you know, things that are not like straight cut corporate. Like, what kind of rules would you say for there?
Well, I mean, it's really easy. I think it's easier almost for males, isn't it? Because they can wear a tie or not wear a tie or something like that. And for ladies, I think it can be quite difficult to strike the right balance. So I think if you're talking about LinkedIn, it should be a professional shot. So smart casual. It doesn't have to be a shirt, but a nice blouse. Like, I wouldn't, even if I was a yoga teacher, I wouldn't necessarily go on wearing a t-shirt. I think there needs to be that air of professionalism, and then pictures in what you would normally wear to teach a yoga class, I would say, for Facebook and other sites in that respect. But I think with LinkedIn, if you're looking at comparisons of people, you will stand out if regardless of your job, you look that bit smarter.
Yeah.
You know, there are some very creative people out there. I'll give you an example. Somebody like Prue Leith, who presents Bake Off. She's very, very colourful. She's got the colourful glasses. She also wears quite colourful earrings.
Yeah.
If you imagine her on a LinkedIn shot, first thing I would do is take those earrings off her. I'd probably put a shawl around her shoulders, Jane will tell you, with a block colour, and just calm it down a little bit, because the reason, going back to your headshot point about why I said it's important to have that rather than the whole body, we're talking about the eyes again. Each one of us has referred to the eyes this week, and to be able to look into somebody's eyes, you've got to get closer to them. So anything else can be quite distracting. And so I think that creativity can be shown with colour, with a makeup, with a nice lip, with something that makes you stand out and be a little bit different. But I think it just can't be too busy. It's got to be about the expression as opposed to an action.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that yesterday as well. Like you do take different types of photos, but it's clear, like for LinkedIn, I like that you're saying smart casual. So that really helps people streamline what they need. And then obviously, if you want to be in your yoga outfit and more casual, your sporty athletic wear, then you can use that on your website and Instagram, kind of start to show behind the scenes and who you are.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that full body shot is a bit like a graduation photo, isn't it? Where you're standing side on and you're holding the degree and the hats in it and everything, and it's that very formal, staid kind of image. And LinkedIn can very much contain images like that because people think that's the right way to pose, and I don't think it is, personally, from my perception of looking through anywhere up to 100 LinkedIn profiles a day I look at.
That's a lot.
It is a bit cross-eyed.
Yeah. So what makes, when you're looking, like, because you're just looking at rows and rows and rows, so what makes people stand out to you when you
I think it's the expression. Number one, do they have a photo? Because I'm very likely to skip past somebody who doesn't.
I agree.
Do they look friendly? Do they look approachable? If I send that person in, for me, I'm normally looking at them from a candidate basis. If I send that person into my client, are they going to make a really positive first impression? Have they made that positive first impression on me? Because a lot of the time, if you think about the fact people are applying for jobs and you just get a CV, and I don't think you should include a photograph on a CV, I may just add, but most people will read a CV and then they will go to LinkedIn to look at that person.
Yeah.
And that's their first impression of what that person looks like. So I think that friendly approach, you know, if you've got customers that you want to come to your business or to buy from you, it's important that we keep going back to the word authentic. But being genuine in business will get you a hell of a lot further, and give you that longevity of business. And that is if that's your first impression, then give of yourself.
Yeah.
And that image of yourself has got to be an honest one. Otherwise, I'd have a picture up of Tyra Banks instead of me.
I love it. This is me on a good day. I'll be Beyonce. Like me on a good day. Okay, so ladies, anyone has any questions? Have any questions? Just let me know. Otherwise, for me, I think what I'm really taking away from today is the idea of being approachable as well, because I mean, you do see a lot of the start, and I confess, I do like to do this with my pictures. I like the lady boss picture, but I think I wouldn't use that as a LinkedIn profile. I would use it for clients that know you, and if you were trying to do something else. So I think being approachable and a smile, like all my headshots will always have it doesn't have to be the cheesy smile, but it's just a warm smile, welcoming, approachable. So for me, my takeaway from today is approachable.
So you smile, you look enthusiastic, and you look like you want the business and you want the engagement.
Yeah, I agree.
Smile is everything.
No, I agree. Definitely. Okay. Well, I can't see, I don't think the ladies have any questions today. So I think you did a great job, Michelle. They're very happy with what you had to say. So
thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very appreciative.
Oh no, it was lovely to have you. Thank you again for your patience. Zoom. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, ladies. Just a quick one today. And tomorrow is our final live where we will be pulling it all together and we'll be learning our posing tips. And you can ask any final questions as you plan for your final headshot. So we're super, super excited about this. And I will see you tomorrow around 7-ish, depending on what Zoom is doing. So have a good evening. And thank you so much. And thank you so much, Michelle.
Thanks, Wani. Take care.
Bye.